It died. It's fine, though. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So, last week, what an adventure we had, friends. We spent a whole lot of time trying to cross a bridge. But before we crossed that bridge, let's talk about what led up to the bridge, which was the party venturing up into the mountains north of Marrowdale. I'm going to pause the spooky music. Anyway, so the party headed north out of Marrowdale, straight out of Marrowdale, scaled a mountain where they found the campsite of the expedition team, led by one Margus Tinchewer, dwarf adventurer extraordinaire and perpetually angry man, very fastidious in his note keeping, which he did by inscribing with acid on sheets of metal bound together in a book, one of which the party found at the expedition camp, detailing some spooky happenings, namely that a couple of the expedition members were confided in him that they were hearing whispers coming from the chasm that opened at the bottom of the lake bed that was drained, and they were exploring. The logs seemed to indicate that they were going to explore deeper, and that Margus was leaving this journal behind in case they didn't return, and would likewise keep an expedition journal for the spelunking. The party decided to rappel down into the cavern as well and see what they could find. And indeed, they found the remains of one Margus Tinchewer, Tin Banger. His last name changes frequently. Along with the half of his spelunking expedition journal that looked like it had received some form of damage. It was the outside of it. It had been ripped in half, and the outside of it had been scored deeply with what looked like claw marks. One of the entries highlighted that one of the expedition members who had confided in him that he had heard whisperings had just let go of the rope when they were rappelling down. At the not the bottom of the chasm, as that is very far below the earth, but the stopping point the party rappelled down to was a road that had been constructed. Very clearly looked like a road that had just simply been built underground. This chasm had split right where the road was running across, and it formed a makeshift bridge, which the party greatly debated on the best strategy to cross it. Vincent ultimately just deciding to run across. The bridge gave him no difficulties, but the roper, a living stalagmite with vicious tentacles, did give him some difficulties. Though Uhl was able to knock it off the ledge, and it's right now, as of when the party last saw it, it was using its tentacles to hold itself across the chasm to avoid falling in. Uhl attempted to make a connection with Zazuzu, who, acting of his own volition, fled deep into the cavern, but she is having difficulties in that he seems to be at least purposefully shutting her out. And as they came upon a set of very large set of stairs flanked by statues forming an arc, it actually became almost impossible to even for Uhl to even try to reach out to him. There was like some sort of white noise interfering. The party climbed up the stairs and investigated where the doorway led to, which is where they find themselves now. It looped around. It was essentially just a corridor that split and then connected at the backside, and led into a chamber that had a very alien-looking hand, or a sculpture of a very alien-looking hand protruding up from the ground, encased in its long fingers that wrap around it, was a gem that Uhl decided to touch, which seems to have moved her through space at the very least, and she is standing even farther below the Earth. Her friends decided that they too wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, and followed her, not before finding a page of Margus's expedition journal, if anybody remembers what it said. All right. So the party finds themselves standing in a square room, sort of on a platform that's raised up maybe about 4 inches. Likewise, on this circle is a hand that has encased a gem protruding from it. And you can see a plethora of doorways. And then inscribed all around the where the wall meets the ceiling is the phrase Zoth Labyrinth. This is going to be a little different than how we've done D&D in the past. We're going to try something a little different here. You guys are free to, move however you want. You just need to let me know when you want to perform an action. Otherwise, everything you do is entirely up to you guys. Yeah. So the platform that you're standing on looks exactly like the platform that you stepped on that brought you down here, if that makes sense. So another hand sculpture protruding up from the floor, holding a crystal. You are transported. You feel like you're looking through a million eyes all at once, and then you are standing upstairs again. Or I shouldn't say upstairs, rather, but where you were before. All right. Okay. Feel free, by the way, guys, if you want to draw on the map, make notes, whatever you need to do to keep track of things, because there's going to be some descriptions and such that you might want to remember. I mean, probably behooves you to remember. Uh, ju- just a room full of doors. There's just a cacophony of sounds. You swear you can hear like gurgling of water, maybe stone shifting above you, like a low rumble. This is not a silent place by any means. Likewise, it is very warm down here. So warm, in fact, that I feel obligated to ask what your water situation is. Perfect. Is that a cantrip? I always forget. Okay. You healed Vincent, didn't you? Pretty. You popped him a level 2 cure wounds. All right. Penalized. All right. You guys aren't you guys aren't thirsty yet. Oh, did I? Sorry, I didn't move you guys to the map. That's my bad. Yeah, absolutely. That is 100% of valid use. So you take it out, you know, it's sort of like, it's almost like a compass needle pointing where it wants to turn. And it points south, though you don't know the exact implications of that. So yeah, just when you guys want to perform an action, just tell me what it is you're going to do. You know, open a door or your voice echoes and rebounds off the stone of this room. You're asking if any of the doors are different? Give me that perception check. $12. All right. Oh, give me just a moment. You're in room that number. So, starting from the west, the northwest, that looks to be a door made of solid wood of some kind. The south door, well, I guess it's more middle, is made of a very heavy-looking metal. The south door now is made of some kind of heavy wood, and the east is made up of corroded iron. Okay. So you're gonna try the handle of it. Okay. Okay, so Vincent, the doors don't have handles. They just have these sort of like hand imprints. You put your hand in the imprint, and it slides open. Just long enough for you to step through. It opens and then very quickly shuts again behind you. As it shuts behind you, you are looking at a sheer stone face. This appears to be a one-way door. And then there's a... it slides open. Making copies. Okay. This likewise looks like just a wooden door, or a door constructed of a wood analog material. Okay. Slides open. And you are looking at a completely empty room. Nope. This door actually, there seems to be some sort of, I don't want to say intelligence behind it, but as other people look like they're making their way through, the door doesn't shut. So there's a little bit of a delay. It's not as fast closing as the other ones. Certainly looks to be empty. The walls are covered top to bottom, floor to ceiling, with pictographs. Likewise, the hallway that you've come through is covered with pictographs. They're almost beyond description. You could give me, well, what do you want to know about them, is my question. Okay. Give me a perception check. Oh, okay, I got you, right. So give me an insight check. That's not insight. You can't follow a common pattern in any of this. Yeah. All you can take note of is that there is a recurring motif of the circle with a point in the middle of it, and then 5 lines radiating off of it. That seems to appear in several places. Yeah, give me an Arcana check then. Your book is acting very strangely, so it's not, you're not and this book acting strangely is very strange indeed. It's not uncommon for words on a page to shift around as you're reading them. You're just used to it, but the words on the pages as you're flipping through it, they're almost sort of blurring and fuzzing, like almost like when you hold a magnet to a CRT, or something is distorting it, or you get a very, very weak response, like a pulse. It's not a response in word, just like a blip. No, they're engraved in the stone itself. Yeah, you could become a glyph in the wall. Another classic. It slides open and you're looking into the room you originated from. No, it's the floors are sort of they're cobbled, but they look warped, like through the passage of time. What a good question, Fedorov. And for that, I think I'm going to ask for an insight check. You can see. So this place is fairly dusty. There's a thin layer of dust on the walls and the floors and the ceiling. Particularly, in the areas you guys have explored so far. And Fedorov, when you get close to the ground and look, you can see a very clear trail of several people have come through this way. Recent enough for the dust to have been disturbed. In this room is a sort of series of canvas huts, and a desiccated elf wearing the getup of the Lubeck Geological Services. So you bend down. He's laying face down. Flip him over, and about a half dozen beetles come crawling out of its mouth. It's probably these beetles. What you looking for? He does not have a written text log, but he does have in his hand a sharpened stone, and covering his arms and torso and legs are a symbol of a circle with a dot in the middle and 5 lines radiating off of it. Yeah, it's stained red with blood at the tip. There are canteens. There are, I gotta think here, 11 of them. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. They are bone dry. There's not a drop of moisture. Full-blown canteens. They smell entirely metallic. Like they have never contained a liquid before. Okay. Zero. What happens when you get to the canteen dungeon? like a magical garden hose. How many gallons of water can you create? Well, each of these canteens holds a gallon. BB is hydrated. When you have to pee, you get +1 to athletics. You can run real fast. Yes, I do. Interesting. Okay. What does tiefling blood look like? I picture like a dark purple or something. Oh, yeah, the swirlings, the shimmer, yeah. This the blood that you draw when you carve the symbol is normal tiefling blood until you finish it, and then the wound weeps a ruby red, and then hardens and scars over instantly. Right. Yep. Sleeping bags, and in one of them is a backpack full of rations, or like uh, military rations. Yeah, smoked tins of smoked trout and such. Um, okay. Oh, it's like a hand cask of like a mini keg of smoked trout, but travel size. Yeah, fits in the backpack. Give me an investigation check. Yeah. This is old school D&D. I'm not gonna hold your hand anymore. You find a couple pieces of silver. 3 pieces of silver. It was like tucked away in a sock that was rolled up. A dirty sock. Yep. Give me a perception check. No, you don't see any moving eyes. Pictographs. No gnome-sized holes. I think Fedorov would. I don't think that a wise player would. Yeah. Okay. You wanted to see how long this corpse has been in here? It looks well preserved. Which makes it difficult to estimate exactly how old it is. It just looks like there is no moisture in it. Like it just shriveled up. It has scurried. When they scurried out, one of them like scurried past BB and then down the hallway you guys came out of. And then the other one is just kind of scattered up the walls and into where the hieroglyphics are carved. There appears to be a sort of depth to them. We don't know. There's no way to be sure. Run into Brendan Fraser. He is the mummy now. We talked about butt fanfiction quite a bit. Yeah, the Elder God is Brendan Fraser, and Uhl, what he expects in return for the power he's given you is help getting out of his alimony. That's true. Alright. What's the plan, guys? That door That door doesn't open. How was BB able to get through that? Yeah, this one opens. The other one is a one-way door. We're gonna have to work on the honor system here, guys. Use the arrow keys. All right. It sure is. So you put your hand on it, and nothing happens. Take your hand away, and you can see there is a what looks like a little keyhole in the palm of the hand. This is D&D, for sure, if you want to try and juggernaut your way through the door. Yeah, give me an insight check, I guess. Just so we're not rolling perception checks for everything. That seems more insightful. Yeah, BB is a door connoisseur. So he's like, he's got his arms out. He's like measuring, width and then like depth, and he's like giving it an exploratory shove. And you think that this is within the realm of BB being able to break it down. Happily, I wrote down what they do. Once per day, you can cast Charm Person at a first level. All right. So you guys are gonna do a door bash. I want strength checks from both of you then. So, yeah, so Vincent's like, all right, ready, BB? 1, 2, and then BB's just through it. He makes like a BB-shaped hole. Yeah, BB destroys the door. Oh, okay. There is another door here. Let me tell you in just a second. It is an iron door. It doesn't look particularly rusty. This one is just a hand. All right, so you put your hand on it. Give me just a second. Sort of a spike. So to open these, you have to press your hand. You can't just like set it in there. So you press against it, and then you feel a spike pierce your palm. And you're gonna take 10 points of piercing damage. The door opens just long enough for BB to step through. There's BB's blood, but yes, you can see that there is dried blood. Yep. You better believe you can. It's gonna be a dexterity check. But if you're proficient in Thieves' Tools, you get to add that proficiency bonus. And it's a check, not a save. I believe you can do it on the character sheet as well. So if you... I think, yeah, you can just click the ability name instead of the saving throw section for it. I thought you said you weren't proficient in Thieves' Tools. Okay, so you work like a little thing, you know, into the tiniest little slot where this needle comes out of, and you hear a pop. Okay, so you press your hand against it, and you feel a needle shoot out into your palm. You are going to take 9 points of damage. But it does open long enough for you to scurry through. Fedorov and Uhl. Yep. Okay. Sounds good to me. So, check this. First, I want a medicine check from Uhl. Also, Uhl, I want to give you a point of inspiration because I'm a big fan of that. Write it down. Trust me. Write it down. You can only use one per adventure, but you know. All right. You clumsily hack off the desiccated hand. When you do so, larvae come crawling out of where like the veins were. You know, you hack off with the stone that you had taken off the body. You use it to hack the hand off, and where the sinews of the veins were, larvae come crawling out. But you have a relatively serviceable hand. Okay, medicine check for you as well. Alright, likewise, you manage to eventually you use like the edge of your shield to just chop it off. You take like a pinky off while you're covering your eyes, but you get the hand off. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the fact that Roll20 lets you do that. The only thing I don't like is that now I'm worried that you're going to be, that you could just drop yourself into a room you shouldn't be able to see. Alright, so Uhl, you set your hand against you press it against it. The needle shoots out, and the force of the needle impacting the hand causes it to essentially crumble into dust, but the door does slide open. Yeah. Likewise for Fedorov, the door slides open, but your hand is destroyed. Not your physical hand, the hand that you took off the corpse. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, I have the dungeon charted out. I'm just trying to make sure that I... Okay. You guys are standing in another empty room. The walls and ceiling are just covered in hieroglyphics, and the floor is covered in uneven cobbled stone. Along the other wall is a door that looks like it's made out of that wood-like substance. Okay, this door slides up into the ceiling. Okay, and then it holds. And then about 15 seconds after everybody comes through, you hear it slam shut. All right. It is likewise made of that wooden substance. It does not open. It has a little keyhole in the center of the palm, and when you press your hand against it, you can actually feel a little pinprick of pressure. It looks like there's a chunk of metal lodged in the keyhole. Yeah, you recognize it as a lockpick. A very cheaply made lockpick, like you would buy in the Lubeck Bazaar. And it looks like it snapped off at the handle, and whoever was working with it just gave up. You're able to get out some of your thieves' tools and gently turn it, and the door slides to the side. This room contains a sort of a pulsating hive, and the floor is covered in crunchy black carapaces. The whole sort of I'll doodle it on here actually, but the whole northwest corner is covered in this sort of hive-like thing of black chitin that slowly pulses. You can see beetles toing and froing from the various holes. Give me a nature check. Technically, a plant is a living thing. Yeah, it's unlike any insect that you've ever seen, but it looks like it's an insect hive. You're not sure why it pulsates, but it looks like it's made of like beetle secretions or something. Like this is something that they've been building. Okay, yeah, so you cut into it, slice out a chunk of it. That action causes 1,000 of these things to come scurrying out. They cross the floor and go up the walls and onto the ceiling and disappear into where these glyphs are carved. Some of them like scurry across Vincent's shoes. So when you cut in to biopsy it, you hit a hard chunk. And on further, you kind of scrape. Yes, absolutely. It looks like a finger bone. He bolted. Okay. Nice. Okay. So that's good, man. Ooh. He did. So, Uhl, you start smoking these cigarettes and then, like, stuffing them in the holes of this hive. If I had a nickel for every time I've stuck a cigarette in a hole, and some more beetles, like, lazily come, like, walking out at different angles, very, very sluggishly. So, contrary to Vincent's belief, there were more in there. Okay, yeah, so you, as carefully as you can, just start filleting it. It's very sponge-like. It's dense, but it's got the consistency of a sponge. Eventually, you're able to work down and chisel out the rough outline of a skeleton. Yeah, there's there's like a copper ring. There's like a gold tooth. But any sort of like clothing, like cloth clothing that this thing was wearing is gone. You haven't asked yet. Give me a medicine check. Looks roughly like, well, it looks for sure humanoid. You would feel comfortable saying human. Sort of like curled up in a ball. Bent at unnatural angles. Like maybe these beetles moved it a little bit to better suit their needs. Nope. Like, you snap a toe off, wipe some sleeping beetles off of it, throw it in your bag. No, it was spread out. They just sort of scattered across the room and then up and into just the where these glyphs have been carved in. You lose your point of inspiration. BB was peeing from all the water he drank. I don't. Bear Grylls. Who doesn't? All right. This door. This door is a little bit different. This one is made of stone. It has 2 handholds on it, or 2 hand imprints, I guess, and then 2 large circular imprints and the outline of a humanoid. It looks vaguely like the outline of a humanoid that looks like the large statues you guys saw coming in. Yep. So it would be like, if you were to put your hands against it, it would almost be like putting your hands against a mirror with this silhouette looking back out at you. Okay. Okay. So you put both hands on it, and then you look up and you look directly at this silhouette, which means that I'm gonna need a wisdom saving throw from you. You get, I suppose you get +4, right? So you can feel this thing or you can feel it's almost like it's trying to suss out what you're afraid of, and it latches onto fire, uh, and it's trying to conjure up images of of your family home burning, but BB has come to terms with that, and you're able to sort of like push past it, and the door, two sets of doors slide open. Yep. Oops. Yeah, yeah. They haven't closed yet. Vincent, as you run through, they start slamming shut behind you. There is a carved statue right in the middle of the room. Right here. Of a creature you do not recognize. Vaguely humanoid. In the loosest sense possible, it's humanoid. It feels scaly. It certainly doesn't feel that way. It is a human body, but as as you go further up the statue, it begins to look more serpentine. When it gets to the upper torso, the arms are long, what look like long claws, and the head has like the hood of a cobra, and then the eyes are the classic snake eyes, and two large fangs protrude out of the mouth. Doors. Give me that religion check. So you're like you're grazing your hand over this thing, and you can feel your ring it stings your finger. Not enough to do damage, but it's like a bee sting. This is D&D. I'm always willing to have putting a ring on something do something special. So you slide this ring onto one of the like clawed fingers of this, and there is a grinding noise as the flagstone this thing sits on rises up, like about a foot. I'm glad that you asked that. I guess a large there's a well, not a large, about a foot tall statue of a cobra striking. Yeah, so this raises up. Yeah, kind of like a box. It slides up, and then the sides of the platform that it's on that were hidden underneath the floor um, are open. Yeah, definitely. All right. It's heavy, very intricately carved, very realistic looking, striking cobra. You're talking the statue that you're looking at? Give me a perception check. It looks like a very realistic statue. All right. I assume BB takes the ring back. Okay. When you take the ring off, the statue lowers itself back down. You get to go to Cobra World. That's where you go if you're naughty. The snake hole. Mighty sharp. I don't. And then I want the fangs. Yeah. I don't see why you couldn't give it a go. Okay, yeah. Let's say a dexterity check. Yeah. So it's almost like dentistry. You have no problem sliding your dagger up in there, and knocking both of the fangs loose. What would you like to learn about it? It's a very realistic looking carved miniature. Well, miniature being sort of a misnomer since it's about a foot in size. All right, BB can hold on to the snake statue. No, just that its claws are like lunged out. BB, you pick up the statue, and you can feel it. It almost feels like it's getting smaller in your hands. Very, very, very slowly. Yeah, it seems like it is. I mean, almost glacially slow, but it's still you can tell it's happening. Seems like it is shrinking itself down to better accommodate traveling with you. That one is this wood-like um, material. It has a just a hand hole. All right. Perception. Looks clean. If he had a nickel. It slides open 1/3 of the way, and then it's almost like it's stuck. Likewise, the other one opens all the way. Like you're gonna squeeze through the side of it. Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't have any issue squeezing. There's not really a check for that. Yep. And then it closes. You didn't prop open this one, right? Well, I guess the one closest to you. Just the other one. That the one that's jammed, both with BB's axe and not being able to open all the way. It's like opening and shutting a little bit. It's like trying to batter its way closed. All right. You are standing in the space between the two doors because you did not open the door. You just squeezed through. No, it's on the far side from where the door's open. It's like a left hand. All right, Uhl, you put your hand on it, and the far side opens. And you likewise would be able to squeeze through if you wanted. I'm just gonna pull the. All right, so yeah, you guys can move through it now. I took the blocker off. Fedorov, you took too long, and both of the doors shut on you. Well, this one is like jammed open. So you grab BB's axe for him, it slams shut, and you're stuck between the two doors. This, the door closest to you guys has a handprint on it, though. Okay, it opens up. Okay. I'm glad you asked. There is what looks like 3 skeletal figures that have very snake-like features. They're No, they're not. None of them are missing fangs. But up here is for lack of a better term, it almost looks like a treasure chest. It is a wooden box. It's got like brass filings and such on it. It's got a big gleaming iron padlock on it. So you sort of toss the skeletons, around. They look like they've been pushed, to the side. It's not like they died in the middle of the room. It looks like they've been pushed against the wall that Ool's standing by. But there are no keys. Alright, so you get down there. It's actually easy. You get the lockpick in there, no problem. And the padlock clicks open. So you put your hands on the top of the chest, flip it open, and you're staring into a row of 1,000 sharp teeth as a pink tongue whips out and wraps around you. As the veneer is dropped, what looked like a treasure chest is morphing into a sort of an amorphous pink blob. So you pick up the padlock, and it's like it's glued to your hand. It's very sticky, and it likewise is pink. Got that sticky pink stuff. Wow, that's impressive. I did. I am a mimic. You can roll a 3, it's fine. Yeah, this also has a round of surprise, by the way. Give me just a second, I gotta grab my monster manual. Alright. Where are you? You beast. I have it bookmarked in the monster manual, but I have a lot of things bookmarked in here. Yeah, alright. Here we are. Okay. So, Vincent, you are grappled by it. Correct. So yeah, so you're for its bonus round attack or surprise round attack, it's gonna squeeze you with its pseudopod. Oh, that's the wrong-sided dice. Hey, get out of there, Sola. You're gonna take 8 points of damage. Then it's gonna pull you into its rows of teeth. So now we're falling into normal initiative. Does an 18 hit you? Yeah. Okay, you're gonna take 11 points of damage. So this thing pulls you in. It pulls you all the way into it. BB. Not anymore. It looks like a treasure chest made of purple taffy at the moment, but it's sort of like it's dropped the veneer of being a treasure chest, and it's sort of shifting forms. And you can it pulled like a what? I don't know what that means. Oh, ditto. It sounded like you said dill, like the pickle. Yeah, kind of like a ditto. A ditto with very, very sharp teeth that is very, very sticky. Cool. Yeah, that is a hit for sure. Sounds good. Oh, yeah. I'm into it. All right. That is also a hit. And then we add another 10 on top of that. Nope, it is a monstrosity. Okay, so we've got +7 +9. Oh yeah, I was looking at the formula for it because that looked strange to me too, and tell me more about savage attacks. So for sure we're looking at okay. Perfect. Excellent. So who's good at mental math? 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 7 plus 9. 48. Okay. You blast mounds of, or you essentially run in Lubu style, and you just hack a Vincent-shaped outline out of the pink goo, or the purple goo rather. Vincent's just laying unconscious on the ground, which means Alright. Vincent is spared from death. Fedorov. You throw it, but it sticks to your hand like glue. The padlock has also turned purple. It's an extension of the mimic. For you it is. Okay. So you try and throw it, but it sticks to your skin. So you're forced to physically scrape it against the glyphs on the wall to get it to detach. And you're able to step away if you'd like. Okay. Okay. You're just gonna raise your shield. Ool. The skeletal snake creatures that you were standing on have turned to pink goo, or purple goo. They, as well, look to be an extension of the mimic. You are, most certainly. One of those is a hit. Four damage? Okay. You blast a sizable chunk of what's remaining away. Alright. This thing... so the pseudopods rise up from the pink goo that was once the remains of snake creatures, and are going to try and batter Ool. Oh, I should probably roll to see if they hit you, though. Okay, they crit you, so they definitely did. So you're going to take... 19 points of damage. And that's its turn. BB. just +1. It's not sexy, but it's a pretty damn good stat. Alright, yeah, you're able to stabilize Vincent. You just slap him across the face and, like, pull his mouth open and grab a chunk of goo that was, like, causing him not to be able to breathe out. He looks steady. Oh, you're unconscious. You're at 0 hit points, but you are stable. Yeah, that would have brought him back as well. I'll allow it. All right, Vincent. Okay. Yeah, that's a hit. Another hit. All right. Yeah, you go savage and you just hack it. At its core is like a hard nodule of hardened pink goo, which looks like it serves as the brain of it, and you just smash it open. It's like a Cadbury egg. And when that smashes open, all of the pink goo the purple goo that had life to it just goes liquid. And you guys are out of initiative. Where it was sitting is what looks like a gnome skeleton, as well as a plethora of coins. Bathroom break. We can do that. How are you guys enjoying the dungeon crawl? Something a little different. You guys are making a pretty good pace. What's this room? Well, and I mean, keep in mind that this is a labyrinth, but of a prison, so it's not like it's a some sacred hall that you're exploring full of riches necessarily. Could be. Who can really say, right? Maybe me. There's a good chance I would know, but I'll never tell. Ancient oubliette secret. That Mimic really gave you guys some difficulty. He damn near did, yeah. Damn near one-shot the thing. Welcome back. I can crank it down. Yeah, is it good atmosphere? There. I sent a picture to the group Snapchat of the Mimic. What up? It's your boy Mimic. Well, it doesn't look like that when it's concealed. Is while the mimic remains motionless, it is indistinguishable from an ordinary object. um, the shape changing of it is magic, though. So somebody who has detect magic probably would have been able to. Everybody back? Is anybody back? Am I the only one out there? Okay. This episode of Pending Adventure is brought to you by Is that how they told you? It's gonna be a dude. I call it the dragon horn. Alright. Alright. Let's get back to it, boys. So you've just slain Mimic at great cost to personal health. There are... Uhl helped. Two of which were necessary. But there are goodies to be had in the form of a gnome skeleton clutching a iron sheet and coins littering the ground. These coins are not the tender that we see today in Lubeck. They're mimic bucks. They are coins of antiquity, not ancient, but from centuries ago. They aren't the oubliettes or oublios. Sorry, they're not the oublios. You got 73 of these copper discs. Okay. Yeah. So you just like he's like gripped it tightly. You're just like try and. Okay. Yeah, it's another one of Margus's expedition logs. This one seems to be from the closer to the start uh, of when they found this labyrinth. Basically, just it talks in detail about how they've set up a base camp near the entrance, and that more men have confided in him. That they're hearing strange whispers, drawing them deeper into the labyrinth, though he still hasn't heard them. And he's seen the some strange behavior from his expedition mates. The only other person who seems not to be acting oddly is this 13th member that they were forced to bring along by the Red Run Mining Company, who the party strongly suggests is Sergei. I would assume. Four, I believe. Two at the bottom of the cavern. One in the tent room, and one here. That's the one in the tent room. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you're right. Five. Yep. Sorry. They both involve beetles. Just a flat wisdom check. Your thoughts certainly seem to be their own. The only talking you've heard is amongst the party. The only strange voices that you've even remotely heard would be Uhl heard a blip, I guess, if you will. You can. It is like a filter of static. It's almost painful for you to try and open your mind. There's something seems to be preventing that sort of connection. Just part of the mimic. Yep, just another wood-looking door. Handprint. Okay. You put your hand on it, and it slides open. And it holds long enough for everybody to have time to scurry through. I almost didn't paint maps for this and just did it graph paper style. Um, uh, this looks just like a wooden door. Yeah, give me a perception check. She looks clean. Pcha. Pcha. Well, you don't know that. I haven't described it to you yet. It is an empty room. Just the hieroglyphs on the wall. Nothing happens. Give me that perception check. No shifting eyes. I heard it. BB, you see a thick stone door with a handprint handle. Yeah. It's actually 3 X's. All right. So you put your hand on the thick door, and a thick stone block smashes down from the ceiling above you. I'll give you a chance to make a dexterity check for half damage. It's not the kind of stone block that would get stuck in antlers. It's like that whole 5x5 cube is a stone that presses down. BB, you're able to... Oh, okay. Good deal. You're going to take half damage then. 7 points of damage. 13 divided by 2 rounded up is 7, right? Alright. You're able to dodge out of the way, and then this thing retracts back up into the ceiling. And then try it with the statue. It's like a once per adventure thing. You might say it's labyrinthian. There's an iron door. You have no idea if it's trapped or not. Who's man enough to face this door? Fedorov, you put your hand on the door and it slides open. In this room, you're gonna have to play along with this. Vincent, this room is full of glittering gold. Ool, this room has a male and female tiefling beckoning you to come to them. BB, this room has what looks to be your father sitting next to a campfire, and he pats the log next to him, telling you to come sit. Fedorov, this room has whatever Fedorov wants the most. He's a hard one to suss out. It has your family just gathered around the dinner table in quiet and peace. Okay. Ool, it's us, your parents. We've been looking for you. Please, stay with us. Stay forever. And yet, you feel compelled not to leave the room. Yeah, for sure, give me a wisdom check. Actually, a wisdom saving throw would be appropriate. Yeah, so you're very skeptical, but as soon as he speaks, he sounds just like your father. He says, "BB, BB, your quest is over. You can rest now. Come sit by the fire with me, and we can swap stories. I want to hear all about the man you've become." Vincent, what are you going to do about this? On top of a mountain of gold sits a figure, the figure of your mentor. And he says, "How you doing, kid?" He doesn't acknowledge it. He says, "We did it. We made the big time. Now we can rest. Come on. We gotta count all this." He doesn't make any response. The second you realize this is fake, you can see the room for what it is. It's just an empty room full of skeletons that are just sitting on the floor, that have just withered away. Yep, you see Ool sort of standing in the corner trying to look like she doesn't care about something. And you can see BB is sat on the ground, and it looks like his arm is hovering in the air like he's got it around somebody. Fedorov, your compass does not point to where your family is sitting. They say, Fedorov, come look. We've discovered a place for Willrose and his people to live. They're leaving Skivigrad. Things will go back to the way they were. Your mind is a mile away from that. Right now, all you can think of is home. Yep, it's certainly not pointing at these people. Yeah, definitely. So you look at the compass, you look at these people that look just like your family, and then you have the thought of leaving the room. Something compels you to turn back, and then you look at the compass again, and it's almost like a magical resolve in you, that you're able to see past that. This very clearly isn't real, and you're able to cross the threshold out of the room. And then when you look back behind you, you can see the room for what it is. Just an empty room full of skeletons and your friends. Vincent likewise looks around the room, puzzled. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yep. So you just bump into the wall. Ool, your parents say to you, "We want to hear all about your travels. Tell us about the person you've become. Sit. We have all the time in the world." Um, there is a that white static filter again. Um, you're not able to, if they have minds that can be communicated with telepathically, you're not able to pick them out or reach them at all. But you're also not able to reach. I mean, you're not thinking of your party members at all, but you wouldn't have been able to reach them, in your travels through the labyrinth so far. So it's not necessarily odd that you can't contact them telepathically at the moment. They feel real. Oh man. All right. Um, they both let out an unearthly scream, and you're gonna take 9 points of psychic damage. Uh, so you stab them, and then sort of your eyes catch up with your mind that this is an illusion, and it's like running face first into a brick wall. You get a bloody nose and you pass out on the floor. Vincent, you see this happen. You see her walk across the room, take a dagger out, stab at the air, and then blood pours out her nose and she collapses to the ground. BB, your father wants to hear all about your travels in excruciating detail. He doesn't seem to acknowledge the hammer. He says, There will be plenty of time to show you all that I wish I could have. We have all the time in the world, my son. um, there will be time for me to show you that. We just have to wait for your mother. I don't know. We'll just have to sit and wait for her. And you guys can hear BB having a one-sided conversation. She's at 0 hit points, so she's unconscious and unstable. Ool, you gotta fail your death save. Let's have you roll a death save and see how you do. Now that Vincent's made it worse. 1 stability. Yeah, Vincent, you're like holding her head up and tilted back, so, which is the inverse of what you should do when somebody has a bloody nose. As she's like coughing and sputtering. Yeah, oh yeah, as soon as you exited the room, as soon as you looked at your compass again, your heart sank and you realized that this ideal situation is not real. So you can see Vincent tending to an unconscious Ool, and BB sat on the floor with his arm around somebody you can't see, talking to them. BB, your father passes you a delicious smoked trout. It's very briny though. BB, you smack your lips and you feel like you're getting thirsty, but still you feel compelled to sit and wait for your mother to return. The rest of you are also feeling thirsty. Man, that was a horrible cure wounds, by the way. Oh, I didn't. I only saw the one. Gotcha. Okay. You're up to 10 HP. Fedorov, your father is just about to tell you all the wisdom that he wishes he could have told you. Yeah. BB, your father's going to tell you all the wisdom that he wishes he could have told you when you were growing up. When you feel it's like icy daggers piercing your face as Fedorov is throwing water in your face. And you're going to take... you're going to take 11 points of psychic damage. As you're snapped from your reverie. Yeah. As he's about to, son, I have many things that I wish to tell you. The most important thing that you need to know is, and then he's gone. You're sitting on the floor with your arm around air and it just falls to your side. And BB, you now come to the realization that this room is just an empty room, full of corpses, or skeletons rather, sort of slunched over like how you were sitting. Yeah, we can do a short rest. So you guys are gonna set up sort of like a makeshift little camp in here, right? Because a short rest is gonna be 4 hours of downtime. Um, you guys do your best to bar the door, and then have a little relax. So if anybody would like to spend some hit dice, now would be a time to do so. Everybody was. This is insane. It's yeah, I'm not. I think it's probably 5 for druid or for. So you guys are sitting doing this you know just trying to recuperate and rest, and it's almost as if something is is drawing. You're not getting as healthy as you think you should be getting, and it's almost like something is fighting your efforts. That's why you rolled so many critical failures, everybody. All right. So my thoughts on that are conflicted. I've seen it ruled both ways, and I'll allow it this time. But I think the house rule is going to be going forward. When you do a hit dice, you have to roll the dice. But I have seen though, it ruled both ways, at least on the RPG stack overflow exchange, whatever. It's the same thing for. Well, that's even better. Same thing for like spell damage and stuff. Like, if you want to be really technical, the rules say you can take the average, but I don't like that. Well, yeah, we're all on the same page now. You guys never get short rests, so I'm yeah, I'm fine if you want to take the average and you level up. I'm saying for like for if you need to spend one or cast a spell or whatever, that it's more fun if you don't just have an average. But for level ups and stuff, that's fine. All right. So, do you guys want to continue on to see what waits below? on honestly, this is a good stopping point. That's why I wanted to steer you guys in that direction. Um, you guys have made some good progress.